What is up? What is up? It is I, Adam. I'm bringing you this video today. And some things I wanted to talk about was that I was reviewing one of my journals from from 2014. So a little over a decade ago. I was recording some of the interactions that I was having in my social dynamics pursuit, game pursuit, whatever you want to call it. Call it game. I mean, that's what I got into this, calling it. It was this thing, the game, right? But really, what it is just interacting socially with people, working on building an abundant dating life, an abundant sex life, if that's what you want for yourself, or a self-improvement journey, improving yourself, working on all aspects of your life, and as well as developing yourself as a human being. It's the game of life, but basically it was just focused on going out, meeting women, and that was the vessel in which I was using to improve myself. But again, when I first got into it, when I started writing in this journal, it was about 2 years after I had discovered that this was a thing, that people were, writing field reports and going out there and proactively meeting women and looking at it like a skill set and treating it like you would treat any skill set that you're going to develop. But again, I was starting off without having any knowledge of this, no background in this area. So it took time to come to the realizations that I have now over a decade later. And it was very interesting because I've never read the things that I had written down in that journal a decade ago until now. I just never was compelled to read it. And as I was reviewing this journal, it was very interesting to hear what my mindset was then, and then comparing that to where I'm at now. And that's the thing with this pursuit, even like socializing, you can treat it like any other pursuit. If you get out there and you're getting lots of experience, getting lots of repetition, taking massive action. And like what I was saying is that it took time because I was coming at this very naive, not having any knowledge about even how you could cultivate your confidence, or these different concepts about self-esteem and these things. And then even learning about skill acquisition and all the studies that have been done in that area. Took time to learn all that, read all that, and then as well as you're being starting to be aware of maybe all of these mindsets, negative self-talk, your belief systems, starting to be conscious of what those are and how you're speaking to yourself, and maybe you yourself is at that stage where you're not even aware of how you speak to yourself, the relationship that you have with yourself, or even understanding what your belief systems are, what values do you hold, these concepts about morals and even character development. Like I was being exposed to all these different ideas, different belief systems, different concepts, different theories, and some of the words I didn't even know. What does objective mean? What does subjective mean? I mean, it took time to learn all of these different things and understand these different ideas. And then once you do understand those things, you start viewing things very differently when you first get into it. Like myself, maybe I was more thinking, okay, it's about saying certain lines, or maybe I got to go up, I got to learn the lines. Okay, the mystery method, or then this guy over here says this, and you have to you have to go up and you have to say this thing or do this thing. And my understanding of it now is not the same as what it was then. After you get experience, after you go out and you actually have been doing this for a while, you're gonna look at it differently, right, than when you first get into it. I mean, and then outside of that, even just knowing, like, how do you study? How do you learn something? Like when I was learning say I was reading the Mystery Method back in the day, and he had he had that other the book that he had released there. Well, he actually had a structure in that book. He had a process that he followed. He was teaching you a process. He was teaching you structure. I only read that thing, but I didn't look at it like, okay, now I have to structure my interactions this way or that. I was just reading through it and basically exposing myself to these different ideas. And I think there might be some coyotes on the street here. A pack of coyotes, which is pretty crazy. But so then I was looking at the Mystery Method, and sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's some coyotes on my street here, but I'm looking at the Mystery Method back then. I'm talking like when I was 25 and I was just getting into this, and I discovered the book The Game, and I'm reading through that thing, and then I'm reading like the Mystery Method. And what I'm trying to say is that even just understanding how do you learn something, there's a process to that. How do you study? How do you take in information? So or even different words, like you're learning different languages, you're learning different ways of communication skills. You're reading books on communication skills, you're reading books on psychology. So there's like a ton of different areas that you might be exposing yourself to, and it takes time to come to these understandings on a deeper level. It takes time to even learn the words that you're reading, and then being able to then have to look up those words and educating yourself in that area. So, now when at this stage of my life, after 13 years of going out there getting experience, you might be overthinking it to yourself, and you're thinking, okay, I want to go approach this girl, right? But then, okay, but what's the line? What am I going to say? Oh, I can't just go up and say hello. No, I have to come up with some routine or something like this. Like, again, Mystery had said, and this is, it's beneficial to expose yourself to different ideas. People have different processes. People have different ways of viewing things, and then you go out there and you get your own experience, and you experience reality for yourself based on your view of the world and the experiences that you have. There's a million ways to skin a cat, as they say. There's a billion people in this world. There's many different strategies that people use, and some people aren't even conscious of what those strategies are, right? But if you're here, your parents got laid, people are getting laid, and not everybody's studying this kind of a thing. However, if you want to get better at this area, you can put focused attention and proactively concentrate on this area, and you can develop this skill set just like you would develop any other skill set. Basketball, some sort of a sport. And one of those structures, say in the Mystery Method, he's just at the basic level, he was like, you don't start with comfort, you start with attraction. Then you move to comfort, then you move to seduction. Well, it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting idea. And then he breaks it down into further steps of like, okay, this is what you're going to, these are some things that you can say here. This is what maybe comfort is. Okay, now you're going to wait to see if, you're getting some indicators of interest from the girl, and then you're going to show interest in her. You're not just going to be sold on her just because she's hot. These are good, interesting ideas that you're throwing out there. But I would say, though, at this point, it's like, just walk through the fire, get the experience. Don't be a bitch. Don't just give up. I hear of, if I'm hearing of guys that maybe have gone out there for 10 years and they were taking action for upwards of 10 years and they never got any results. To me, that sounds crazy. I mean, because if you're going out there and you actually are taking action on a regular basis, say on a daily basis, and you're going out to bars, you're going out to clubs, maybe in the daytime when you see a girl, you go up and you're approaching multiple girls in the day whenever the opportunity arises. You're then analyzing what you said, maybe journaling like I did, and you're writing down, okay, what was I feeling here? What did I go up and say? How did I initiate things? Or why didn't I go up and say something? What kind of fears did I have? What kind of beliefs? How am I relating to myself? What's my relationship with myself? What did I say to myself that prevented me from going up and taking action. A lot of this is you're developing new belief systems. You're cultivating you having to exercise courage. You're also cultivating a relationship with yourself. You're having to maybe affirm new positive belief systems to yourself, new positive self-talk to yourself, and then you're going up and you're taking massive action. And then you're analyzing those interactions and thinking, oh, what did I say? What did she say? How did I move? Did I try to move things forward? I mean, that's another concept. That's another idea. Are you moving things forward? Are you studying about female nature, just psychology in general, men and women? And there's even a lot of different beliefs when it comes to ideas in that sector, right? So ultimately, though, you got to get out and get your own experience and then make your own decisions. Think for yourself. You're not just following dogmatically what other people say. You're thinking for yourself. But if you're going out there, if you're somebody that went out there for a decade, you're for sure going to get results. And it depends how seriously you're taking it too, though. You could do anything for 10 years, but maybe you half-assed it. Maybe you did a few approaches here and there. Then you stopped for months. Then you got back into it and you did some more approaches and then you stopped again. Like anything, you get rusty. Any skill set is a deteriorating skill set. You got to go out there. You got to take action on a regular basis. You got to be consistent in your actions. And then it's also about what you're doing outside of game. Are you reading books? Are you educating yourself? Are you making money for yourself? Like money, based on my experience and my 13 years of going out and talking to women and pushing myself in this area, money isn't going to get you women. You don't lead with money. You don't say, oh, I got this much money in the bank in these things. But why is money important? It's important for you. Just like if you're going out to the gym and you want to get stronger at these things, it's good for you so that you feel good about yourself. Having hobbies, having interests, reading books, educating yourself, learning about the world. Women is one aspect of life, but it is also something that you can dedicate your most of your time to if that's what you want to do, because there's levels to anything. Just like people are negotiators, or you got a CIA agent that's studying about psychology and how to better communicate with people, or how to understand what people are saying underneath what they're saying verbally, body language, facial cues, subtle ways in which we communicate, understanding these things. That's what they call calibration. Over time, if you just keep doing this, if you want to dedicate a significant portion of your time to women and dating and your sex life, well, you can take this to levels that, never probably, the levels in which that you could take this are never ending. It never ends. Just like, other than eventually you do get old, eventually you're not going to live in this world. You're going to die someday, like all of us. So then that's when it ends. But, so you get what I'm saying is that you can take this, the levels in which you can take this never end. Just like in basketball, just like in another sport, you have to keep getting out there on a regular basis. You got to keep putting in the repetitions. If you take a week off, if you take a month off, you're going to be rusty. Just the same when you're going out and cold approaching women, meeting women that you've never met before, and you just see them in the shopping mall. Maybe you're going to bars, maybe you're going to clubs. You're going to get rusty in that aspect too. You're going to feel anxiousness. You're going to feel resistance. The resistance is always there. That same resistance is always there. Whether I'm going out to make a video, the resistance is going to be there. If I'm going to go to the gym, the resistance is going to be there. No matter what you do, there's always going to be that resistance. You have to push through that resistance and show up on a regular basis. And it's not about perfection. It's not about, did you get the result? It's not, did I go out and did I hook up with a girl today? Did I have a romantic experience with somebody today? That's not your criteria for success. Your criteria for success is, did you make the effort? Did you put in the time? Again, the guy that wrote the book, the War of Art, he talks about how the resistance is always there. He didn't say, did I sit down for 2 hours and write a masterpiece in that 2 hours? No, he sits down and he just writes. And maybe that writing that he did goes nowhere. He throws it in the trash. But the criteria for success is that he sat down for 2 hours and he put in the work. And he put in the work for that day for a couple of hours, and he put in the time and he made the effort and he showed up again. And that's what you base your success off of. I dedicated myself to this for the last 13 years because I just found it to be very meaningful pursuit, even just in developing myself. It's fun. It's just something that I was drawn to. And you might be somebody that's passionate about this area too. I mean, social skills didn't come easy for me. I knew nothing about social skills. I grew up with a single mom. We didn't have a lot of money. We went to the food bank. We moved around a lot. I never stayed in one place for very long growing up. I felt like, that I felt like I didn't really, I was kind of the funny guy, but that was like a defense mechanism, and that that's how I met friends, was like trying to make people laugh, being the class clown and these things. But again, that was just how I would fit in. That's just how I would make friends. But I was very insecure. And that's the thing, is that people might look at me from an external standpoint and they're going to have their opinions. Some people may say, oh, this guy, he must have it easy in life. Or some guys are going to say something completely opposite, right? But the fact of the matter is that to build a social life takes work. It doesn't matter who you are. You look at somebody, you can't judge somebody from an external level, from a superficial level. Your opinion or your assumptions are not necessarily true. Anybody that's cultivated a social life, anybody that's cultivated success in any area, whether that's them, they make lots of money, they're successful in their business, they had to take actions, consistent action, and put in work to make that happen for themselves. They had to put focused attention on that area to get success in that area. Now, some people, maybe it seems like it comes easy to them, and maybe for some people it didn't seem like a struggle for them. They made friends, they were able to get girlfriends and these kinds of things. But you take anybody that's never gone out and cold approached women or gone out proactively to talk to lots of girls, they're not going to be able to just do this like naturally. It's not going to come naturally to anybody. Unless the person's already got lots of social experience. Maybe they've got lots of positive feedback in their life. They grew up in a more of a healthy household. I mean, these are factors that could come into play. But then, but still, you take anybody, even if it's like sales, you're going up door to door, you're knocking on doors. There is a skill to this. You have to subject yourself to social pressure. All kinds of different external factors come into play. You have to have good belief systems. You have to have confidence within yourself, or even if you don't have that confidence, you have to be good to yourself. You have to learn to care about your opinion more. You got to give yourself recognition. You got to validate yourself. You're not looking for external validation. You're not looking for acceptance from others. You got to be able to take rejection and then forget about that rejection and move on to the next one with a clean slate and not take that last interaction with you into the next interaction. That's a skill in itself. When you see the girl, you don't hesitate. You go in. That's a skill. Being able to approach a massive amounts of people and not get down on yourself and not be dependent on the outcome and get discouraged. That's a skill set. There's many things that go along with this pursuit. And nobody's just going to have it right off the bat, unless they are just social people. They've already cultivated friend groups. They've already been doing this. Maybe this is something that people just like to do. People like to go out. They make lots of friends. They talk to people a lot already. But to cold approach people that you've never met, people have situational confidence too. You take somebody that already has their friend group, and they could seem like this confident guy in their friend group or with people that they already know, but you take them and put them in a place where they've never been before around people that they don't know, and get them to go in there and go into a group of people and start talking to those people, and then start trying to move things forward with a girl that they like, or show intention with that person, which even that concept right there, showing intent, it's like, what does that even mean? You know, if you've never experienced this, or you're not familiar with these concepts and ideas, then you're going to have to learn these things. You're going to have to go through that process too. No one can skip the process. And that's why you take somebody that wants to get good at like basketball, say, and they go out and maybe they just like to shoot the 2-pointers from time to time. But that's far different than somebody that's like a Kobe Bryant that's dedicating their life to this. And you literally could treat socializing in the same sort of way. But then that means that maybe you also have to make money in life. You also have to focus on other factors in life too. It's not just you going out and only talking to women. I mean, if you have the finances and you have the means to be able to do that, then great. But then these are also things that are going to affect your state of mind when you're out. If you don't have your finances handled, if you don't have if you're not, doing things that build core self-esteem within you, which would mean, are you making promises to yourself and following through with those promises? Do you have integrity with yourself? I mean, these are the kinds of things that also give you confidence outside of going out and socializing and meeting women. So there's many different aspects to this game. There's many different surrounding areas that you can focus on that are also going to help you and facilitate your ability to be able to go out and even work on this area of your life, your social skills. But this never came easy for me. And what I wanted to say too is that people might judge me and say, "Oh, things must come easy for this guy. He's a Chad." I've never been called a Chad before, but I think it's kind of funny, some of these comments, what they say. But it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It matters, what do you think? And someone might think that I'm a good-looking guy, but then internally, I didn't feel like I was a good-looking guy. Internally, I was very insecure. Internally, I didn't maybe even see all the privileges or maybe all the advantages that I had. But everybody has advantages in life. You have to take stock of what those advantages are. And even something like being good with women, anybody can get laid. Anybody can find a girl and get laid, right? But it's, can you repeat that process again and again? Can you be the kind of person that develops confidence within himself by taking action and putting yourself in situations that put that pressure on you, and being able to hold pressure, being able to be subjected to the adrenaline that rushes through your body, the fight or flight mechanisms, and be able to keep yourself calm, cool, and collected under pressure. You're always testing yourself, pushing your boundaries. And what I was saying is that internally you might not feel confident. You might not feel good looking, right? And that's why that was never something that I relied upon. I go out, I get rejected all the time. And it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get rejected. If you are doing this pursuit, if you're going out, trying to approach random women on the streets, in the bars, in the clubs, you're talking to lots of people, those people aren't going to resonate. Everyone's not going to resonate with you. Everyone's not going to resonate with you if you're working on actually expressing yourself authentically. If you're actually stating your real opinions. If you are putting yourself out there and not filtering yourself, you're not going to get along with everybody. And girls and nobody is just saying, "Oh, this guy has the looks, that's all I care about." I mean, of course, perhaps, I mean, that's the thing too, is that, hey, if you went and talked to enough people out of 7 billion people in the world, if you could talk to all those people, of course, there's just going to be some people that are just down. But then you still have to be able to communicate with them. You still have to be able to facilitate that and move it forward and make that happen. And that's where the practice comes in. That's where the process comes in. That's where you going out and working through those steps until it becomes smooth, until you've got enough experience where you know what that process looks like, and then you're able to repeat it over time. But anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. If you have the ability, right now to walk out of your house and go talk to people, you can do that. But the problem is that you might limit yourself and you might say, oh, I need to have the money first. I need to have I need to be in shape first. You're making all these excuses. But literally, what is stopping you from seeing the person that you want to go talk to and going up and talking to them? It doesn't mean that anything's going to go anywhere. It doesn't mean that that person's going to want to take things further with you or to a romantic level. But that's why you're not basing your success on somebody else's actions. That's where your confidence is derived from. From, hey, did I go up and make the attempt, even though I have fears, even though I have worries, even though I have self-doubt, even though maybe I have negative self-talk? Did I push through all of that and go up and make the attempt? And if you did that enough time and you didn't give up and you made it and you treated this like any other skill set where you just say, I'm showing up, I'm putting in the time, I'm taking action for, say, 1 hour, 2 hours, and I'm going to be consistent in my actions for a set period of time. I'm going to journal. I'm going to think about what I thought I did well, think about what I could do better. Did I make the approach? I mean, that would be one example of something you did well. You at least made the approach. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't overthink it. But if you're doing that, you're walking through the fire, you're going to learn calibration, you're going to learn how to communicate better with people, you're going to learn how to conversate better, because just like anything else, the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. You're going to develop more confidence. You're going to develop more self-esteem. You're going to develop more self-love because you're going to tell yourself, I'm going to do something. And then when you do that, you're going to feel proud of yourself that you did what you said you were going to do. Then maybe you're going to work on your finances and realize that everything takes hard work. You can't be lazy in this. Nothing is just going to come to you. Me, I was much more having like a victim mentality when I was younger. I thought I was waiting for someone else. I thought I needed to, I wanted to be a professional skateboarder. I was thinking I've got to do the tricks and I got to get sponsored and someone's got to come put me on. I need a new skateboard. I need new shoes. What am I going to do? Who's going to buy me the shoes? Who's going to buy me the skateboard? Funny enough, I mean, a lot of these things I learned, they were so profound, but so simple, right? But it's like, go out and buy a skateboard, go get a job and work and save up and get a skateboard. Oh, okay. You don't need to go out and spend all your time. Talking to women to cultivate this area of your life to a high level, to a level where you're very happy with the way your life turns out. You only need maybe a few hours a day, depending on how serious you want to take this. And then there's still more time for you to work on your job, work on these other areas of your life, like maybe educating yourself and maybe having some hobbies and some other interests that you might want to work on, whether that's going to the gym, reading books, studying, higher education. All of these things are immensely rewarding and important, and you should be focusing on all these different aspects of your life. And so at the end of the day, you just got to go out and put in the work. Put in the work. Do not give up. Do not overthink this. Don't think that you need to have the lines and these kinds of things. You need to go out and get experience. You need to go out and fail. You need to get rejected. That is going to happen. Just like Michael Jordan's going to miss shots, he's going to lose games at the highest level. Why? Because you're challenging yourself. You're on your edge. Every single day takes effort, and it's a new day, and you got to put in effort again. You can't rest on your laurels. It never stops. As soon as you stop, the skills deteriorate. And this is no different. You might be weak. You might be that victim, having that victim mentality where you think, "Oh, who's going to come put me on? Who's going to come make things happen for me?" You have to realize you are in control of your life. Realize that you got to get out there and make things happen for yourself. No one's going to come and make things happen for you. And that's how you're going to get results in this area. Constantly challenging yourself, constantly pushing yourself, studying, reading, maybe taking on different processes and routines and ways in which somebody else maybe is sharing that they get results. And then you can take that on until you find a way for yourself. Learn, mastermind, talk with other people, brainstorm, and then keep getting out there and keep taking action and do the best that you can. You're not going to necessarily get results in this area right away. It's going to take you as long as it takes. Some people are going to get results sooner. Some people are going to get results later. But you are definitely going to get results. I do not believe it that somebody could go out for years and years of their life and never get results if they're going out consistently, if they're approaching consistently, if they're journaling and writing down what they could do better, what they did well, constantly iterating the process and what they're doing and trying new things, and then studying and looking into different ideas of different ways that you could approach this, learning about female nature, constantly getting out there, conversating, talking to people, trying to move things forward. Every time you see an opportunity in an ideal world, you see a girl you want to go talk to and you go up and you talk to her. Doesn't matter if she's with a friend, doesn't matter if she's in a group of people. Because if you're able to do that, which is difficult, but that's why it's actually fun, because it's not easy, it challenges you, it gets the juices flowing, it gets the adrenaline going. That's what makes it exciting. If you're doing that, you're building up confidence, you're building up self-assuredness. But again, you're not overthinking it. And that's the thing. If you have the perfect line to say, but you can still go up and talk to that girl and execute on that perfect line, then great. But if you are overthinking it to the point where you're not even making the attempt because you think that you're going to avoid rejection, then you're not going to get better. That's the best thing to do would be to have not the perfect line, but at least you went in there and you made the attempt. You went up and you said, hello, you did the next best thing. And you baby step it. There's a process to everything. You baby step it, you start small. It's progressive desensitization over time. That's what you're doing. Progressively desensitizing yourself over time. And that's what you want to do. And then you start off small, and then you just challenge yourself a little more. You just keep challenging yourself. And that's how eventually you get to high levels of anything. You're just constantly pushing your own limits, pushing your own boundaries. And who knows how far you could take it when you're doing that. And again, I came from a place where I didn't know anything about these about this concept or this idea that you could build social skills. I wasn't a natural at this. I came from a place where I felt I was very insecure. I didn't grow up with a father in my life. I didn't grow up with somebody that even just could tell me, hey man, go out and talk to chicks and make the attempt. You know, rejection is normal. That to me was a very profound idea, that you could just go out and talk to girls and you could make the attempt, and that rejection is normal, and that if you were to just do that enough times, eventually you're going to meet somebody that resonates with you. And so, you know, I remember there was times though that I was just compelled to talk to girls, whether I was in a bus, and then she goes up and she tells me that she has a boyfriend, right? And that would affect me on a level where I'd be like, I would be down on myself. I would think, oh, that's, of course, you know, like, there's something wrong with me, right? But then you realize when you're doing this that you can't take it personal. Not everyone is going to be available, but you don't stop after that one attempt. See, I didn't know or think to, oh, hey, no worries. You tried that one, it didn't work out. On to the next one. You don't give up. I didn't have someone to say, don't give up. You keep trying. It's about work. It's about effort. It takes work. It takes effort. You have to cultivate this area of your life, just like anything else. That never clicked for me, that idea that I could do that. I remember there was a time this girl, I'm sitting on a bus and she comes and sits right next to me. There's many places that she could have sit. She comes, sits right next to me. She was a cute girl from what I remember. And I'm hesitating, thinking, oh, did she sit next to me because she likes me? I'm questioning what was going on here. Should I talk to her? Should I not talk to her? Eventually she puts on her headphones and it's some song like, it's too late to apologize. It's too late. It's too late. And she walked away. But of course she was sitting next to me and wanted me to speak to her. But even if she wasn't, if you want to talk to her, talk to her. But that takes effort. That takes practice. Maybe you don't feel like you're this gregarious or outgoing kind of person. Well, you can develop that behavior. You can develop that behavior. How? By getting the reps in, by taking action time and time again. I have, for me, it was so rewarding when I learned this concept and this idea, especially because I was coming from a place where I was feeling very low in life. At that time, people had opinions about who I was, and I felt like these opinions would hold me back in life. I thought that, what am I going to do? People think I'm this way. People think I'm that way, and I didn't realize that I could take the opinions of others did not dictate the quality of my life. The opinion that someone holds of me does not prevent me from getting the type of success or cultivating the type of life that I want for myself. But again, I was coming from more of a place in life where I felt like a victim. I felt like I didn't have control over my reality or over my circumstances. But that's taking on the new belief of, no, you are in control. It is up to you. And that's what this can teach you, is that people are going to have all kinds of opinions of you. Not everyone is going to resonate with you, with your beliefs, with how you carry yourself, with how you with your likes and your dislikes. People are going to not be on that same level as you. That's okay. If you're actually putting yourself out there, if you're actually trying to live authentically, true to whatever that is for you, you're not going to resonate with everyone, and not everyone's going to resonate with you. But you eventually will find someone that likes you for who you are. But then it comes down to discovering what that is and getting out and being able to get to a point where you're willing to have the courage to put yourself out there, be willing to be seen, be willing to put yourself under pressure and throw yourself into the fire and climb through the trenches and get those repetitions, and don't give up and just keep taking action. But then knowing what it looks like to move yourself through that process, being willing to take risks, being willing to lose the girl, being willing to go and try new things and experiment. You have to be willing to lose the girl. You have to be willing. Well, you have to have that abundance mentality where, again, if it doesn't work out with her, no worries. I guess it wasn't a good fit. On to the next one. But I'm not going to filter myself. I'm not going to not try to escalate or move things forward because I think I might fuck it up. You have to play to win, as they say, not playing to not lose. You have to play to win. And that's having that abundance mentality. And if you don't have that abundance, well, then you cultivate it over time. But again, you don't give up. You keep getting out there. You keep working at this. And what's the alternative? And if you're honest with yourself and you are actually going out for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it takes, however much time that you want to put towards this, how much effort and how much you're willing to give to this, that's how much you're going to get out of this. Right? And again, some people are starting at different places. Some people are starting at a lower level. Some people are already starting maybe at a higher level. But you're not comparing yourself to anybody else. But if you're getting out there and you're being honest and you are actually putting in the time and you're being consistent, you're not just trying for a little while and then you stop. Just like if you go to the gym, you don't go pump some weights and then you're eating a crappy diet. The diet is actually more important. It's just as important as going to the gym, but it's just as important. You can't say one's more important than the other, but it's just as important, or if not even more difficult than the 1 to 2 hours that you might be in the gym trying to build muscle, because when you have to eat a proper diet, that's something you got to be doing on a regular basis throughout the entire day, every day, to build muscle. Well, just the same, when you're going out to the bars, to the clubs, are you being consistent in your actions? Or again, you wouldn't go to the gym for like a week and then stop and then go back like a month later and think, oh, why am I not growing muscle? Or you wouldn't think, oh, you're not getting the proper protein or nutrition that you need. So then you think, oh, I'm not growing muscle. Why am I not growing muscle? Well, you're not getting enough protein. You're not getting enough calories. You're not in the gym consistently. And it takes years to build muscle as well. You get those newbie gains in the beginning, but then as the higher you get, the more effort it takes to just see those 1% improvements over time. So just the same, are you going out on a regular basis? Are you going out to bars and clubs? Are you going to places where you can get mass amounts of reps in, of social experience in the shortest amount of time possible? Are you approaching for the whole duration of the night? Or are you sitting around and not talking to anybody and you're like, I'm in the club, I'm gaming? Are you, when you're out in the day, do you see girls that you want to talk to and do you go up and talk to them, or do you succumb to the excuses and the rationalizations that are coming into your mind? Because that's another thing too. This takes introspection. This takes being aware of your belief systems, how you view the world, how comfortable you are with your behaviors and the way that you want to live life. You're unapologetic about your actions. You're unapologetic about who you are. You're unapologetic about the life that you want to live. You make no apologies. You get out there and you accept yourself as you are, and for your wants, your needs, and your desires, and you're not looking for an external authority to give you permission. You give yourself permission. You are your own authority. You decide what you want. You know, that's the inner game. But even if you weren't aware of any of that, the answer is to approach. The answer is always to make the attempt. And even if that means that you go up and it's the worst approach ever, you feel embarrassed, you feel shy, you feel awkward, because it doesn't necessarily mean that that's how you look from an external point, but you may feel that way. The fact that you got in there is a win. And if you keep subjecting yourself to that pressure, that's eventually it gets easier. Eventually you learn to handle that pressure and you desensitize yourself to it, just like anything else. Just like a boxer might get in the ring. At first, you're getting punched in the face, your adrenaline's rushing, it's hard, it's scary, you're not used to all these chemicals coursing through your veins. And it's difficult to think. With experience, the more you get in there, the more you get used to punching in the face, the more you get used to rejection, the more you get used to that pressure. Eventually, you learn to handle yourself. You're calm, you're cool, you're collected, but then you're always stretching yourself. You're always looking for that new challenge. Maybe at first you're talking to the girl or the cashier. You know, maybe that feels like a lot of pressure. Then eventually you do your first approach. Maybe it's just one girl. Maybe it's a girl you're not even attracted to. Maybe it's just some random a person, old lady, a guy. And you just say, oh, hi, how you doing? Oh, what kind of cereal is that? That's where you're at. And that's like, for you, that's massive amounts of pressure. And over time, you just push yourself and stretch yourself little by little, little by little. When I started skateboarding, first it was me learning the ollie. Then I learned the ollie. Then I'm going to progress to the kickflip. Then I'm going to progress to the next trick. And it's the next thing and the next thing. And you just keep pushing yourself. Stay consistent. Stick at it. And you can learn this skill for yourself too. I didn't learn this for myself. I mean, I got books on the subject. I've bought programs. I've listened to different people talking about this. I've watched a lot of different companies' videos that they put out there and listened to their ideas and these things. But ultimately, all that stuff is good. But and you don't have to just choose one or the other. But what's more important is that you get out there and you're not overthinking it and you make the approach. It's not about having the perfect lines. It's not about knowing what to say. It's about developing self-trust. It's about cultivating confidence within yourself. It's about taking the shot, taking the opportunity, and being proud of yourself that you took action. You can't control another person. You don't know why maybe they didn't want to accept your advances. You don't know why they didn't want to take things further with you. You can't take it personal. And understand that eventually you're not going to have the privilege to do this in life. And how much regret are you going to feel if you get to the end of your life and you never went after it? You never took action. Get out there, take action. Enjoy the fact that you just get to try and appreciate any experience that you get to have. Be present. That's where you cultivate meditation. You cultivate appreciation for life. You're appreciating the fact that you even get to try. You appreciate that you're even getting to have a conversation with somebody, that you're even getting to talk to a beautiful girl, that you're even getting to talk to anyone, that you get to go out there and meet people and socialize and have fun and learn to freely express yourself. That feels good in itself. And then eventually, you may even find somebody that wants to have an intimate experience with you. But that's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in life. The only thing that you are entitled to is your actions. So then appreciate everything that you get to experience in this life, because not everybody does. So I'll leave, if you made it this far to the end of the video, if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments, and as well, not like I never went out and got a coach personally, going out into the field with somebody. I have bought programs. I do believe in coaches in all facets of life. And, maybe that's not something that you're looking for, but if you are somebody that maybe struggles with this, it's hard for you to get yourself to approach. It's hard for you to really get yourself started. Well, a great way and a catalyst to get yourself on the right track is to get somebody with experience like myself that can put you on track, that can hold you accountable. I do in-field trainings. I also offer other services like over Skype and these kinds of things. And I'll leave some of my services in the description at the end of this video. But other than that, wish you all the best. And until next time, peace out.